Happy Monday, listeners. Welcome back to the Wins and Losses podcast with Joey Lacapo and myself, Evan Winkler. What a weekend. What a weekend. My teams did awesome. I am very happy this Monday morning.
Great weekend.
I got my Chiefs no more defeated. They finally got a win versus
no more winless.
Winless. Especially when you play the Giants. That was a tough opponent, they're 0-3, so it's nice to
Giants
get that.
played them well, though. Either that or the Chiefs are really, really bad.
Yes. It was a sloppy first half. So I just need the trifecta tonight, have my Lions get the win tonight, and then I'll really be
Let's go Detroit.
having a good one, but that's going to be a tough one. But what a weekend of sports. I feel like the college world was crazy, NFL was crazy, but the most surprising game to me was that Illinois-Indiana game.
Oh, my gosh. I tell you what, Indiana looked like gangbusters out there, or Illinois was the biggest overhyped bust there is.
Totally.
One or the other. I think it might have been a combo of both.
Yeah.
But,
how do you lose 63-10? I cannot believe that score. You're the number 9 team in the country.
And you're the number 9. You know how I feel about the rankings. This just goes to prove it. These rankings are all garbage. They're all overhyped. Let everything settle in. Let's get into conference play before we start ranking these opponents. If you look at the rankings as they stand now, you got Ohio State sitting 1 because they beat Texas, who was an overhyped Texas team at that, and you got Miami at number 2 because they beat an overhyped Notre Dame team. Both those teams are good teams. Don't get me wrong. They both have great athletes. They both have complete offense, defense, special teams. They're going to be great
It's
teams.
just too early to do rankings.
It's too early.
If you really want to know the best teams, you wait till after you've
100%.
seen them play enough opponents to be able to
get into
really
the
get a
meat
good
of the
factor.
schedule. We start this upcoming Saturday is going to start getting into the nitty gritty. You got the Ducks and the Ducks traveling to Happy Valley. You got the Tide rolling into Georgia playing them Dogs. It's going to be a great weekend upcoming, but don't do rankings ahead of time. Because if that's the case, then IU might be number 1. And to say that makes me want to laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do it.
I feel like that Indiana game, as soon as I get that punt block, it's like everything just steamrolled for them. They were flying around on defense. Their offense was clicking. That quarterback looked amazing.
That place was rocking. I knew Bloomington would be going bonkers. Their night game, their ranked opponent coming in, and I don't want to take anything away from Indiana. I want to give them their flowers. That's a good win for them.
You beat someone by 53 points.
But you look at Indiana, and the past 2 years, they've lost a couple games, 2 games maybe. Yeah. One to Ohio State, one to Notre Dame, both championship caliber teams. But you look at their schedule, they had a down year Michigan last year, which Michigan, for all rights and purposes, should have beat them at IU. They got very lucky to win that. They really haven't played anybody else. Yeah. So why don't you pump the brakes in Indiana a little bit? They still got to go to Autzen, play the Ducks. They got to go to Happy Valley and play the Nittany Lions. They get through their schedule. If they, by some slim chance, make the playoffs, he definitely, Cignetti's really got that program trending in the right direction, but I still don't think that they are a top-tier program by any means.
Yeah. I think Illinois is better than what they showed. I think it just kind of snowballed. But I do think Indiana might be better than last year. I think they might be more of a legitimate team this year. So
I think their quarterback's better. I think
we'll see what they do against another big team. But this is a big win for them. Anytime you can beat a top 10 team, when it comes down to these polls, I think it's good for them. But how about that Wolverine game?
Oh man, they really probably should have won by all rights and purposes 20 to 28 points. They controlled that whole game from the jump, from Matt Rule's stupid decision to go for it on 4th down in that first possession. That was
their first 2 possessions. They got down right in the. They could have had a good lead in the start.
Nebraska doing Nebraska things. That's why Nebraska is never going to become relevant again, because they always do idiotic things to get in their own way. Michigan controlled the line of scrimmage from the beginning of that game. When I say the beginning, I mean from the time the toe touched the leather. The first kickoff of the game, Michigan and Matt Rule saw that, because if I saw it, I know Matt Rule saw it. So if you're controlling the game and you get down to the 10-yard line, take the points and get out of there. What's he trying to do? Go for it. You're not going to get it on Michigan.
That's tough. I almost wondered if you think Sherrone Moore, the Michigan, if they were 4th and 2 there, they go for it?
Well,
I feel like that's our normal play calling.
it-
Michigan's going to go
it's
because
different
in a big game,
scenarios. It's different.
in
Michigan
a big game, do you go for it because you want the points? You want field goals. So you know you're not, a field goal is not going to beat
It's a
Michigan.
road game. It's a tough environment. It's a young quarterback. We got the big, strong, burly linemen open up holes. It's a whole different thing. Nebraska was known for their Patrick Mahomes look-alike, Raiola. You know, I mean, they get down there, take the points, play some defense, get it back, play some more defense, take your points, get it while you can. From the jump, Michigan controlled that game, you know, and it's just like you control the game from the opening kickoff. You should win by more than 3 points.
Then they try to take the points next, and they miss field goal.
Yeah. See, so it almost goes to show you it wouldn't have mattered.
It was not a great. Unfortunately, Nebraska could have got some great momentum if they would have put some points on the board in the beginning, and then I felt like Michigan took over, and then everything was going really well for us, and then that boneheaded. I don't know what was going on before the half. We had all the momentum. We were going to have the ball first, second half.
I can't believe
And
that.
then the Hail Mary. It's like, are you kidding me that this happened? Which I
number
blame
one,
on Joey because he went for a walk.
I did. Literally, me and my wife were getting ready to walk our dogs. I said, we'll go for a walk at halftime. I didn't want to miss any of the games. Had them all leashed up, collared up, ready to go. We walk out, and like there's a second left. I'm like, oh, that's going to run off. We'll go. I'm out walking the dogs, and a buddy of mine, Justin, stops and says, did you see that? Hail Mary. And I thought he was pulling my leg. I thought he was joking.
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable.
I went into his garage, and it's 17-17. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Nope, it was 17. It was a horrible play.
No, I saw the replay, and it just astonishes me, the idiot. I mean, if you're Biff Poggi, granted he's the interim head coach, granted, you know, you think there's a second, what are they going to do? You should have called that timeout with 20 seconds, force them to punt the ball, get the ball back, kneel down, take it in overtime. I mean, that's just a normal coaching decision. I didn't think he thought they were going to try to chuck it. They did. It worked. I mean, fortunately for us...
If you call timeout, then they got a punt, and then if they throw it there, then we get the ball back. But
fortunately for us that we settled in, we broke off a couple big runs after half.
Our defense played great.
Our defense,
second half.
Our pressure we got on those boys. It was men against boys, man. Our guys were just manhandling them. If you would have said the Nebraska offensive line, all them corn-fed, big old country boys, man, they couldn't do anything against us.
We were all over that second half. It was rough going for them.
Our speed, we were in their backfield between Rayshon Benny and Jay Sean Barnum and Ernest Hausman. I mean, we were all back there. There were 7 total sacks that whole game, you know. I mean, we just controlled.
School record, I believe.
Yeah, we just controlled the line of scrimmage. We put pressure on Raiola. He was trying to do some of the stupid Mahomes underhand flip stuff. I'm like, that's gonna.
He was running for his life back there.
He was scrambling. I was waiting for one of those to get picked off or returned for a fumble. It didn't, but yeah, no. Michigan,
he had a turnover though. Eventually, he was going to have a turnover.
He did. No, definitely Michigan controlled that game. I do feel like that Bryce Underwood fumble cost us 7 before. Was that before? Yeah, before halftime.
It was unfortunately getting that fumble.
You know,
for sure.
I know. We
got a bad penalty. Hellman had that bad penalty.
Oh gosh,
Sportsman,
I tell you,
that's
just discipline. Just stop taunting.
You just stopped
the other
them.
team.
And we're getting the ball back.
You know,
You're just giving teams momentum.
I understand you're very excited, having a little bit of fire and passion, but just stop doing stupid stuff. All these kids these days get up and celebrate every stinking tackle they make. That's what they're supposed to do out there is tackle. Yes. You don't go and like pump your fist or whatever to the sideline. It's ridiculous. You know, it's a penalty that cost Michigan 3. They're lucky it didn't cost them 7 or they would have lost the game. You know, but all those things aside, tough environment, tough place to play, young quarterback. Bryce played well, broke off a big run.
I feel like our wide receivers had some passes they should have caught.
Justice Hayes.
That's what's frustrating.
Had a monster game. Our wide receivers, they actually had some good catches. One catch along the sideline got called back. McCauley.
There's a few I wish they would have held on because he was 12 for 23, and I feel like it was better than that.
But you look at Justice Haynes is just having a monster year. He's got 537 yards so far in 4 games. He's the leading Michigan running back over the past 5 years. They've had Khalil Mullins, Blake Corum, Hassan Haskins, and Justice Haynes is actually ahead of them all, on pace to break them all. He definitely should be a Heisman contender right now.
He's had over a 50-yard run every single time.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But I feel like that key drive that really showed maturity from Bryce and the Michigan football team was that fourth quarter. They got the ball. Nebraska just scored. It was 27-20.
8-minute drive.
8 minutes. Just took off a big chunk of time.
And ultimately,
our defense rest. Because they had the time of possession was pretty big at that point. So I think it was like 30 to 18 at the time of the drive started. So I think it was really important for our defense to get off the field because we were scoring pretty quick for the majority of the game. But the key stat, they only had 43 yards rushing, and he had maybe 90 yards passing in the second half, and he had most of that chunk at the very last drive.
Right.
So that just shows you our defense dominated and our offense did what they had to do.
Jordan Marshall.
Another way to grow up for Bryce. Another big atmosphere. He's improving every week, so you got to love that. So I'm feeling really good about what his development is.
We got an off week coming. We got a limping Badger team coming in the big house for the Maze out. I tell you what, I will be stunned if Michigan doesn't wax the floor with
them. That's a big.
They are a bad football team, and I worry for Luke Fickell and Luke Fickell's job. They are a bad football team, and Maryland control them, just annihilate at Wisconsin. Who'd have said that? Camp Randall used to be one of the toughest places to play in the country, and Maryland went in there and just handled their business against Wisconsin.
That was a blowout right away.
Yeah, it was bad.
The two surprising games in the Big Ten was that one and that Illinois, Indiana.
Yeah,
that's what we get for picking against IU, I guess. Cincinnati must have watched the podcast. And he was like, I'm not letting those boys.
Well, I'm telling you, Coach Sig, I'm still not a fan. You don't have me sold yet. You're no Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, Google us.
Google us. So how about them other games? We'll just kind of run through some of the bigger ones a little quickly here so we can get to some NFL talk. We had the Canes really dominating the Gators. The Gators kind of hung around for a little bit, but Miami really flexed their muscles down there in Coral Gables and handled the Gators on Friday night. We both had picked that. Yep. They quite honestly might be the best team in college.
Yeah, we talked about this last week that Miami could possibly be the best team. They've maybe played the best schedule so far, had the best wins. They look very complete on defense. Their defense shut them down. Their offenses look really good. So
it'd be nice. They got to play the Noles here in 2 weeks. I tell you, they go to Tallahassee, and I think it's going to be for the ACC because what in the world is going on with Clemson? This was not everybody, a lot of people's national championship pick. Looks like garbage.
Unbelievable.
Clemson looks like garbage, and if you would have told me that with their roster coming back, their coaching staff, their pedigree, they had a new defensive and new offensive coordinator. They had Tom Allen from the old Indiana Penn State defensive coordinator. I forget the name of their offensive coordinator coming in. Holy smokes, they can't get out of their own way. They are horrible. They are horrible.
And the surprising part, they call it an upset. I don't know how you can be upset when you're 1-2, but
and those have all come at home. They lost to LSU, which might not be a big win for LSU. You know how everybody's real high on LSU saying they went in and handled Clemson? That might not be a big win. Going into Death Valley, Clemson's Death Valley, and beating them, Syracuse just did it.
Syracuse.
So what does Syracuse? What does that tell you?
I think they are a basketball school. Yeah. Their coach is doing a good job over there. I do like the Syracuse coach, and I think he's doing a good job of building something over there. But it's just shocking to me that Clemson is 1-3 when the preseason polls. There's another story right there. Polls.
I'm telling you, man, these preseasons, they just shouldn't come out with rankings until the season starts. But I digress. We will move on. We had, like I did say, just to finish up our college segment here, we do have some big games coming up that we're going to pick on Thursday for you. You got Oregon going into Happy Valley facing Penn State for the big Big Ten game. We got a couple big SEC games. Got Alabama going into Georgia trying to flex on them dogs. And then we got LSU going into Ole Miss. So 2-3 top 10 games there. So
one more thing about this weekend, I would have to say I was really impressed with Oklahoma getting another big win.
Oh, yes.
They needed it because if you look at their schedule, It is not friendly.
I'm gonna double back on
is
that because
nasty.
I've talked to you about their schedule and saying how brutal it is. If I were to look at their schedule and say, gosh, they have Texas and they have Bama and they have Georgia, I'm going to flip that around and say, maybe Georgia should look out because they got Oklahoma.
Right,
Maybe
that could
Texas should look out because
Yeah.
they got Oklahoma.
I'm hoping because it only looks
Oklahoma's
Michigan look
It's only
makes
going
us
to make
look
Michigan
better.
look better. So keep rolling, Sooners. Boomer
Yes.
Sooner, man.
Keep it going. And then I'd like to say your Musk.
The Musk.
I did hear it on the free. I heard
They
Kurt
are.
Herbstreit talk
the
about
mighty
the Musk.
Utah student section. They did not stand strong. No,
They did not stand strong.
no, your Texas Tech Raiders got it. That's the game you
Let's
got
go.
me this weekend. You
I
got
got
me.
that one. Yeah.
You don't have a Texas Tech hat, or you
I don't have a
right?
Texas-
I don't either, believe it or not. That's saying something because I
Yeah.
got a lot of hats.
You might have every hat imaginable. So if you're keeping track on the podcast, make sure you keep an eye on his hats. You might not see him wear the same hat once.
All right, now we're going to roll into the NFL. We got the big Lions, Ravens tonight. Gosh,
Yeah.
could be a Super Bowl preview of what's
Certainly could.
yet to come.
I'm really interested to see what happens because the Ravens pretty much blew out the Lions last year.
I got a
So
little
what's going to happen this year? Can we stop that run game? I think is the biggest thing for the Lions.
little bit of a revenge for the
Yeah.
Detroit Lions going in there. Dan Campbell.
Seemed
and
like
the
they
boys.
fixed it last week, so hopefully they keep it chugging along this week.
I'd like to see
It's gonna be a
Hutch.
good game, I'm hoping.
I'd like to see Hutch have a big game. I really think he needs to start going,
Yeah.
getting some sack totals on there. He's such
Feels a little more comfortable this week, I'm hoping.
Such a driving force for that team, that defense. He's the heartbeat of the Detroit Lions, and they're playing well, and that's great, and they're winning. But after the just demoralizing, crushing injury he had last year, and that grueling rehab,
Just the mental
to come-
aspect come
Yes,
back from that was really tough.
he needs it. He needs
Yeah.
it. So for Hutch, man, I hope he's got a big game tonight. I hope the Lions have a big game tonight.
And
pull it
Hutchinson's a
up.
program changer. You saw he did it at Michigan,
did it at
and
Michigan.
he's doing it at the Lions. He just is that kind of
100%.
person that has the character and the integrity
Yeah.
that people just want to follow, and he just makes everyone better around him.
Oh.
That's great. But there was just some crazy drama
Oh,
in the
wasn't
NFL.
there?
I was with my son Colin yesterday at the Xfinity store, and we're sitting there, and I see the Philly scores. I'm like, oh man! But there's a lot of time for Stafford, and I watched the Stafford down there. It's like, sweet, they're going to beat Philly. And then I turn around, turn back, and I see this 300-pound guy, number 90, chugging down the. I'm like,
Chugging.
what just happened?
They said that they clocked. Was that Jalen Carter? Who was that they were turning?
I'm not sure.
Number
Number
90 for the Eagles. I think it wasn't Jalen Carter. I forgot. It was one of them big Georgia boys. But anyway, he was moving at the speed of 17 miles an hour. 315 pounds running.
That boy was moving.
17 miles an hour. And they didn't even really need it. They would have won 26
he
to
could've just fell
25
down,
or
but-
whatever. But he wanted that touchdown, and more power to him. Even though both you and I picked the Rams to win that game, I tell you, that was quite a win for the Eagles. And there was almost like deja vu with the Browns and Packers.
Did you see how the Packers pretty much found a way to lose?
They controlled that game the entirety of the game.
Jordan Davis was our guy scoring a
Jordan Davis, there you
61-yard
go. Yeah.
touchdown.
He was chugging.
The Packers found a great way to lose the game. So I want to show you, we got to talk about some of these possessions here at the end of the game because they were down. If you look at the possession play-by-play here, when I was on here in the fourth quarter, going to the fourth quarter, it is 10-0 Green Bay.
They were controlling the game.
Yep. Browns score 10-3. Interception Packers. 10-10 in one play. So they scored within like 30 seconds of each other, so it's 10-10. Then the Packers go down, get a field goal blocked, and then they go down and score.
And get the winning field goal.
The Packers
right?
just found a way to lose that game.
I'm not complaining.
Me too. That was awesome.
You know me, I'm a Packer and Chief hater.
It's usually what the Browns do.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you would think the Browns would have lost that way, not the Packers. So
No,
that was just a surprising finish by that game. Stunning.
100%. But I'm real happy for the Browns. Got off the schneid, got out of that winless column. Chiefs got out of the winless column.
Yep.
We had
That was an ugly first half, though.
couple
man.
teams get out
so
of
many
winless.
penalties.
You know, it's
Just
funny.
nasty. I went to bed at halftime, but man, I was like, whew. You could tell the Chiefs were the better team, but they kept getting their
I
own
thought
way.
the Jets were going to get out of the winless column. They had one of those wacky blocks and returns to
They did
take the
too.
lead. And who came through?
Mr.
Baker Mayfield.
Big game Baker.
That's right. Came through with the Bucks
Big
mounting
game
a
Baker.
drive, put them in field goal position. knock through that winning field goal. Look at Tampa Bay, 3-0. Baker, touchdown maker.
I'm really happy for Baker. I feel like he's found a really good spot in Tampa. I feel like that's a good match for them, good marriage. And he's I think he was 9-6 the first year, 10-7 last year. They've continued to improve there, so I'm happy for them. I like Bowles as a coach too. I think he's a great guy, good coach. So it's good to see that they're doing those things. But
then my prediction: the Bears coming out.
I was happy to see that. Even though I lost that game,
they got off the schneid. The Bears came through and put a hurting on the Cowboys, just like CeeDee Lamb. He got a little hurting put on his ankle.
Yeah, he's out for a couple of weeks.
But yeah, no, Chicago looked really good.
That was a big win for them. And a blowout win.
Ben Johnson's finally got a little life into that offense.
Touchdown by Williams.
He did a little trick play, a little flea flicker, some of that Jared Goff magic for Caleb Williams, So hopefully it'll turn the Bears around. Like I said, I'd like to see the Bears do well. I got them going in the playoffs, at least in my preseason predictions. I do want to see the Lions win that division, but good to see the Bears winning. They got the Raiders coming up next.
Yeah, just for the confidence of that team, because when you have a new coach comes in, if you lose the first 3 games, it's like people start thinking, man, do these coaches really know what they're talking about?
Right.
So you can tell that they're still playing for the coach. I know it's early on in his tenure, but it's nice to get some wins because you want to make sure that the players understand your vision. So looks like it's good for them. But 2 surprising things, the Texans and the Colts. Who would have thought that would be reversed?
What is going on with Houston? Their offensive line, for lack of a better word, and I've used it numerous times, it's garbage.
Yeah.
They're horrible. Their offensive line is like water.
I just can't believe it.
They're going to almost have to start trading off their team just to build up some line. Gosh, you look at C.J. Stroud's got no time back there to pat, but they just look terrible. They have no run game. They have no pass game with Nico Collins and that wide receiving crew in Houston and C.J. Stroud. There's no reason for that, but he has no time to throw the ball. No time to throw the ball.
If you don't have time to throw the ball, I don't know what else.
But then you got good old Daniel Jones resurrecting his career there with
you got the Giants 0-3, his former team, and now he's 3-0 with the Colts.
The Indy Colts, Indianapolis. Shout out to my cousins and my aunt and uncle who are big Indy fans. I tell you, look at the Colts playing well, 3-0.
3-0. I think that's big for the Colts. It's Daniel Jones. Hopefully this is a spot for him. We saw it with Donald last year. We're seeing it with Mayfield. We saw it with Geno Smith, he's done better since he's left the Jets, so maybe this could be a thing for him too.
They have a dominant offensive line. They probably have best running back in all of the NFL.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor back there is just a beast.
He's always been one of the best.
Yeah, he's just kind of been hiding in Indy. He hasn't been in one of those big market teams, but I tell you what, he is playing well. And the Colts are playing well. They're looking like they're taking control of that division early. It's going to be between them and the Jags. I think the Titans and the Texans are done in that division.
It's not looking good when they're both 0-3 and you got the Colts 3-0.
But you got the old LA Superchargers.
The Superchargers. That was a big win because now
Harbaugh,
they got a 2-game lead on everybody and they got 2 conference wins. So that's even more important. I feel like there's been a lot of conference games at the beginning of the season, more than usual, it feels like.
They set them up, the NFL schedule makers set them up at the beginning and at the end. If you look at the last game of the year for all these teams,
for last
it's
year
all division rivals. So it's actually kind of nice to see it that way.
So it's important, to get off. That's a great start for the Chargers.
Yes.
Herbert's playing great. They did lose a running back yesterday. Harris.
I do think they're going to go out before the trade deadline, maybe try to beef up their offensive line, give Herbert some extra protection.
The other running back did have 70 yards, though.
Try to pick up a running
Hampton or
back.
whatever his name is.
Yeah, the one from North Carolina there that went in there. But I do think they're going to probably try to pick up a running back. It's going to be interesting to see if Harbaugh goes after some of the Michigan boys.
Yeah.
Maybe Blake Corum out there, sliding into the other side.
He already has Haskins over there.
That's right.
Haskins, he's going to have Haskins, Corum. Maybe they'll find
Donovan Edwards.
A little reunion over there. But even the Panthers finally got their first win.
Right.
Boy, the poor Falcons, man.
Falcons
beat 30-0 versus the Falcons.
They look bad.
Yikes.
They look bad.
And the 49ers was a game that came down to the
49ers. Yeah, it was an ugly game, but I tell you what, man, they're 3-0. No matter what you say, you're not going to look back and say, "Oh, it was an ugly 3-0."
A win's a win.
3-0. And they're leading that division and they're well on their way. I think that I saw a stat like 75% of the teams that start off 3-0 make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, so realistically, all these 3-0 teams,
chances.
it's looking really good for them to make the playoffs. And you get in the dance, anybody can win. So no, hats off to all those 3-0 teams.
And it's going to be fun to watch tonight. I think that is just going to be an awesome, fun game.
Tonight's game could set the Ravens. They lost their first one against the Bills, so yeah, they won't be 3-0. But
they blew the lead, remember, versus the Bills.
And we lost our first one against the Packers. So we can both have the ability to go 2-1. So. It's a big start, big game. Like I said, kind of a Super Bowl.
It'd be nice to get this one for the Lions, really.
It really would. This is a big game. Big game for them to springboard, for Jared Goff, for Dan Campbell to prove they can do it without Ben Johnson, without Terry Glenn.
So you got the Ravens and the Browns and the Bengals. They pretty much are playing the AFC North right now. So.
Yeah, the Bengals have no Joe Burrow, so I do like the Lions. After this, they'd have the Browns and the Bengals. I think this could springboard them off to a very hot start. And
how about the Vikings, though?
Yeah, Minnesota without JJ.
They look like world beaters, 48-10.
Without JJ.
I know.
Yeah, that's a shocker.
Which is kind of, leave you a good feeling when you're a JJ fan because they scored 48 points. It looked pretty amazing.
I tell you what, man. Now, anything can happen. That's the thing with the NFL. I know my daughter Mia was super shocked yesterday when the Browns beat the Packers. I'm like, hey, they're all professional athletes. Anything can happen any given Sunday. So
if you're not ready to go, I mean, that's what happens.
100%. So that was kind of a recap of Week 3 in the NFL, Week 4 in college football. I know in our
a little baseball update.
In our Thursday show, we're gonna give you some picks and predictions for college and pros. But before we leave you, we do want to give you a little bit of MLB right before the last week of the season. What's going on with the
Tigers? Need something.
Don't
hook up the defibrillators now, please.
Choke. They have a monster 3-game series with the Cleveland Guardians starting tomorrow. They need to win.
Cleveland's won like what? 15 out of like their last 17 or something?
Cleveland has won 15 of the last 17. The Tigers have lost. They had an 8-game lead 2 weeks ago. And it's down to one skinny game right now. So
they had a 15-game. I saw the stat. They had a 15-game lead, like in the middle, like in July or something. This would be the biggest collapse ever in Major League Baseball
Don't do
history.
It to us, Detroit.
Come on, Detroit.
Come on, Tigers.
They finished with then the Red Sox. After that.
And the Red Sox are fighting for a wild card too. So even if they beat the Guardians and hang on to their division lead, they need to hang on because if they lose against the Sox, the Yankees and the Sox will take the wild card. They'll be left out of the playoffs completely. So
never had a thought or a question that the Tigers are not going to make the playoffs. Now I'm very worried.
Yes.
When do they play today?
Tigers.
They play today?
They are off today. They are off today.
They start that series tomorrow?
3-game series tomorrow with Cleveland. 3 games to finish up with the Red
Struble
Sox.
pitching tomorrow, do you know?
Struble?
I'm hoping.
I think he's going Wednesday.
Oh man, we need something to happen. Our bats are quiet.
Oh my god.
Pitching's not working.
Oh
man, this is like.
And they're all on the road. They're all on the road at Cleveland, at Boston. So no more home games for Motor City Kitties. So let's see. Let's get it done, Detroit. Cubbies, I don't know what you're thinking either, because just because you clinched does not mean you just stop trying.
Playing baseball.
They stopped playing baseball. They had a chance to win their division, and instead they let Milwaukee clinch by letting Cincinnati kind of resurrect from the ashes there. Cincinnati's in the wild card. They caught the Mets. The Mets are choking or tanking just like the Tigers, and it's like Cincinnati caught them. They're right there. They're tied for the wild card. Them and the Diamondbacks. It's just like, holy smokes, it is just a free-for-all in Major League Baseball right now. The only ones safe are the Toronto Blue Jays. The Seattle Mariners and Houston Astros are fighting for the division title, but the other one probably will get the wild card. You got Detroit and Cleveland fighting, one for the division, hopefully the one for the wild card. You got the Yankees and Red Sox fighting for the wild card. And in the National League, you got the Brewers and the Phillies clinched. Yeah, the Dodgers clinched, and then you got a battle for that wild card between the Mets and the who do we got? The Mets, the Reds, The Cubs already clinched, and the
Diamondbacks,
Padres. Padres already are
They're
pretty
pretty
close
much going to be in, but
So yeah, it is a wild last week in baseball. I know we
It's
normally
exciting.
just talk college football. I have to throw in some baseball because it's getting to the good stuff right
Yeah.
now. So let's go Tigers! Don't do it! Don't
yes,
choke on us.
come on, baby, come on. And last bit of we got a little soccer news. We had the Stingers this weekend played the accounting firm. This is 9U soccer. It's very big. I don't know if you saw it on FS2.
FS32.
But the Stingers won 4-1. It's probably the closest
All right,
game.
Stingers, congrats.
Stingers got another
Coach.
one. Yeah, so it's
Congrats.
good. So my son got a few more goals this week. So
Congrats.
it was a fun game. Soon I'm undefeated right now in the 9U soccer league. So if you have any questions, just call in.
That's right.
We'll help
He's
you
the
out.
man. It's a program changer right here.
Program change the 9U Big EYSA Soccer League.
All right, everybody. Well, we'll see you on Thursday or Friday this week.
Yep.
Give you a little bit of picks for the upcoming weekend and talk a little ball. So until then, we'll say
Go Lions.
Go Blue, go Lions.